So is it just me, or are new comic book day readers a bunch of whiners? Guys, I'm Mike Spider Slayer. Welcome back to Comic Book Corner 2.0. If you love daily comic book content, if you love me helping you making decisions of what comic books to buy, you came to the right place. And today we're talking about comic book fans. Like I said, are we a bunch of whiners? Are we too critical of our comic books? Do we take them too seriously? Now, this idea was inspired from one of my webheads on my Facebook group called Comic Book Corner 2.0 Webheads Unite, and her name is Katie, and I thought this was great. And she just says, is it just me, or are new comic book fans kind of whiners? I will never understand the mentality of reading a book you clearly don't like. I see this happening way too much, especially on the website that I always talk about, League of Comic Geeks, because not only can you create your pull list on there, but you can also write reviews in there as well, giving your thoughts on the comics. And here's my thought when it comes to constantly reading comics that are not great, okay? One, for me, obviously, I'm a YouTube guy, so, I kind of take the hit for a lot of people. I'll buy books that may not be that great, and I just give you my thoughts, obviously, on what these comics are about, so I can hopefully maybe save you a buck or two, right? Again, you just take the opinion for what it is, or the review for what it is, because it is my opinion, right? Now, there are certain books that I continue to read because they might be my favorite character, and I hope that these comics get better. For instance, we can all agree on this one. The first thing is Amazing Spider-Man. How many of us, and let me know in the comments below, continue to read Amazing Spider-Man even though it's not good? Now, my original video today was going to be discussing the whole Joe Kelly thing, but I thought, that's kind of boring, right? You can discuss your thoughts on that also in the comments below. But how many of you guys are hoping that Amazing Spider-Man gets better? Because it can't get much worse than it's been in this current Zeb Wells run. But you continue to read it because it's Spider-Man, or you've been collecting the book like I have since I was like 14 years old. Okay? It's like, why am I going to stop? I understand, yes, you might be throwing away money, you're not enjoying it, but there's that collector part of me that says, I want the entire run of Amazing Spider-Man no matter what. Another book that I continue to collect no matter what on the DC side of things, of course, is Batman. Batman hasn't been the greatest, but I have read it through the Tom King. I've read it through the current Chip Zdarsky and James Tynion runs, and I started reading Batman in New 52. That's when I got into DC Comics. Those two comics, no matter what, I will never drop, because those are two main characters, right? Another character that I will tend to always read will be Green Lantern. I love the Green Lantern character ever since I dove into DC Comics in the New 52. That's another book that I'll read no matter what, but it's got to be like Hal Jordan and Kyle Rayner. Those are the guys, right? And then another side on Marvel, it's going to be pretty much Iron Man. Now, I've read some pretty crappy Iron Man books as of late, but this most recent series was pretty good. So I will continue to read that. But sometimes, there's books that I will drop them, right? There is a book where if it's that bad, like for instance, this week was Free Agents. I could not stand that book. I will not read another issue. But I know there's other people out there that will continue to read a book in hopes that it gets better. And I want to know if you're one of those people. So let's see what Kelly P. Anderson says, I check out books that are new to me. It takes one issue for me to want to find more, or it's a one and done on my resale pile, LOL. So yeah, a lot of people do that. They'll take a comic, they'll read it, and if they don't like it, they'll just resell it. That's what I do with a lot of series that I'm not fond of. I'll resell them in a garage sale. Christopher writes quite a few reviews on League of Comic Geeks, and he put his 2 cents in, and he said, I love reading comics. Some really don't resonate with me, and that is okay. I post my simple reviews there. However, I am finding more and more that I will read and love a book, and when I look at the reviews, every one of them is bad. I used to second guess my likes because of it, but I have learned I like what I like, and I share my opinion, and if people don't like it, oh well. Exactly, guys. You're gonna like a book no matter what happens. You're gonna dislike a book no matter what happens. Like I say in my reviews, I give you my thoughts on books that I like and dislike, but at the end of the day, I'm just a normal guy just like you, and if you want to buy the book and form your own opinion of it, right? But what makes this hobby so great also is sometimes if you're just a comic book fan, you'll read a book, whether it's good or bad, and you just love to discuss the comic book. So again, I'll make that example for Amazing Spider-Man, right? When the book is great, we're like, yes, we love it. And then when the book is bad, we love to talk about how bad it is. But no matter how good, how bad, there's always a discussion there. And that's what's so fun about comic books, right? Again, everything is opinionated, and that's another thing why comics are so great. Lamont Pierce says, if you see me complaining, it's just because I'm talking about Zeb Wells' Spider-Man. So yeah, again, it's a lot of stuff about the Spider-Man. Hook Son says, complaining and whining don't bother me. If you don't like something and want to discuss, that's what the communities are for. It's the hate reviewing and the doom and fear tactics from too many YouTubers that bother me. Everything doesn't have to be positivity and rainbows, but I truly dislike the comic haters discussing themselves as fans and saviors for the industry. So Hook Song makes a great comment here. There is a way of being positive and negative. I feel there's a positive in most comic books, one way or another, whether it's good art or there's a funny scene or the characters' action scenes are great, whatever the case may be. And then there's always bad, right? And there is a way of criticizing a comic book, but to be respectful. To sit there and go just downright bashing someone who created a comic book, I think is absolutely wrong, right? Calling them names and all that stuff and giving them threats and then bashing every single comic book that comes out, I think that's a problem. I think at that point, you should no longer be reading comic books or reviewing comic books, because at this point you are so jaded to the point that you're finding things that are wrong with a comic book. So I agree with that trash, hating, negativity, that is crappy. If there's a book that's bad, try to find one positive thing about it, right? So great stuff right there. Great comment. But I really wanted to make this video to hear what you guys have to say when it comes to this topic. Like, are we overcritical of our comics? Do we expect too much? Do we need to go back to the days of when we were younger and we picked up a comic book and we just sat there and loved it for the action and for what it, for what it was back in the day? Now that we're older and these comic books are more adult orientated, are we just expecting too much? So again, guys, just leave me all those comments below. Hopefully you're enjoying your Sunday and enjoying the rest of your holiday weekend. And as always, if you love the content, there's always more content right here for you to click on. And until next time, guys, remember, support the local comic shops, keep buying, keep collecting, but always remember, read your comics. So we got a great comic conversation. Guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you real soon. Bye.